Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for clicking on one of our videos. Today I'm going to show you this 1973 Suzuki GT550 that we have. We'll do a walk around video here. I'll show you some up close stuff, and then we'll start it up and run it a little bit. This bike will be for sale. So there's a little walk around. As you can see, it's in pretty good shape. Not a museum bike by any means, but it is definitely a good condition survivor. Some things that we've done to it since we've had it. It does have brand new paint on it by Paul Miller. He does excellent work at recreating the original Suzuki colors. We did recover the seat with the correct pattern for 1973 GTs. And she's basically all original. I'll show you some close-ups here. So, she does have some patina, of course. Like this is November 2022. We're here in Ohio. As you can see, the leaves are all starting to turn. So this this bike was built in November of '72, which makes it a 1973 model year. So I'll let you do the math on how many years that is. What is that? I think that's one short of 50 years, isn't it? Not bad for a 50-year-old motorcycle, I'd say. The bike has 58, just a little over 5,800 miles on it. Runs really good. I just got back. In fact, I reset the odometer before I went out, so I just got back from a 6.4 mile ride this afternoon. Let's see what we got here. As you can see, it's got the original grips on it. You can still see your little Suzuki S's there. Being a 73, you can actually still turn your headlights on and off. I think right around 74 or 5 or so, the switch was still, or the switch was there, but they disabled it and screwed it in place. You couldn't use it anymore. There's your choke. As you can see, it's run, and so it's in the run position here. This is the start position there. Pulls that cable and then pulls your chokes up on all 3 carburetors. This has the early style carbs on it. It's kind of interesting. It goes from 1 cable to 3 individual choke cables on the carbs there. So there's between the 3 individual throttle cables going to each carb and 3 individual choke cables, there's just cables going everywhere on these carburetors. There's the gauges. All the lights are all working. Gauge lights, switches, turn signals, high-low beam, horn, all that kind of stuff. Here's your other side, your original Suzuki grip. Kind of cool, back in the 70s, Suzuki put their little S logo on everything. Well, they don't really do that a whole lot on the newer bikes. Even on the bolts, like right here, they stamped the little S in all their all the bolts. Kind of cool. Too bad they don't do that anymore. There's the nice shiny new paint job and that beautiful 70s, I guess you'd call it, we call it a pea green. Seat turned out really nice. Still got the little stainless strip on there and got the Suzuki logo back here. Some bikes I see that have the grab rail that goes all the way around. Some of them have the little luggage rack back here, and then some of them have just the little grab handles. So this one has the little grab handle. I'm not sure if there was originally the full length one, but I believe it was one of the three. I believe you got either the short one, the one that wrapped all the way around, or the one that wrapped around with the little mini luggage rack coming off the back. So you've got your correct Suzuki GT rear traffic or rear turn signals. Some of them back in this era had the red lenses, some had the orange lenses. I'm not sure if there was a year cut off or what that was, but I think the red ones in the back look better. Just the newer, the 73 tail light. The 72s actually had the reflectors right here on the sides of them, and then 73 went to this style. And I believe they continued that style up through about 75, maybe 76, before they went to the GS style turn or tail lights. There's the side of the gas tank. Gas cap is original. We didn't replace that. So, as you can, on this, almost all these old Suzukis, when you get the chrome, original chrome for the most part, looks great from 10 feet away, but they didn't do show chrome on them from the factory, and then you add in 40 or 50 years, and there's some little scratching, pitting, and stuff in the chrome that you'll see, especially some. If I can focus here. Yeah, there you go. You can see stuff like that. So again, we did not restore this bike. I kind of call it a reconditioning. We went through some mechanical stuff on it, which I'll explain here, and did some cosmetics, but did not do a full restoration. So the new owner, you could definitely do a few more things, have a few things re-chromed or replate some hardware and take it to the next level if you wanted to, or you could just ride it as is and enjoy it. There's your front signals with the front. You have the rears. You have the red reflectors, red lenses, fronts. You got your orange lenses and orange reflectors. The mirrors, most of the mirrors, in my experience in this era, they all had the little Suzuki S's on them. They were this style mirror, but they had the S's, so I don't know if these have been replaced at some point or what, but these are Japanese mirrors. You can see, it's hard to see but you can see they are, it says Tanaka, made in Japan on both mirrors. So they are not Chinese knockoffs. They are correct Japanese mirrors, but they don't have the little Suzuki S logos on them. One little on the front fender here, you can kind of see one little impression there. And again, with the chrome, if you really get close, you can see the imperfections in the chrome. Got a new front tire on it. These are the front tires we use on a lot of the Suzukis. They're a Duro brand, but they kind of got that vintage ribbed look to them. So we like those real well for their looks. The early GTs have this really cool, the ram air is actually cast in to the cylinder head covers, where the later ones just use like a, it's like almost like a decal on them. So I like the earlier ones where it's cast in. I think that's pretty neat. See all three of those exhaust pipes there. We polished up the side covers a little bit. We didn't get them to a mirror finish, so you could probably take those up to the next level. In fact, probably a good cleaning. It's been kind of sitting in the shop for the last couple of months. I should have gave it one final cleaning before we did the video, but got the correct original petcock with the 3 separate outputs going to all 3 carburetors there. These petcocks are getting really hard to come by too. On the side cover emblems, these Suzuki used, it's kind of like a metal flake type decal. A lot of the Suzuki reproduced these badges up until just a few years ago. So all the new ones just have orange paint in there, but you can tell if they're the correct original ones because they've got that metal flake style. So these are the original side cover badges. The tank badges are correct as well, but we did touch up that metallic red that they used in there because they were pretty faded. They get faded and real light pink over time. So here's the exhaust pipes. Exhaust pipe, it's got a little bit of wear through there on the chrome and a little bit of, I don't know if it's, normally we'd call it battery acid staining, but it's a little, it's down towards the bottom. Just kind of some, there you go, you can see it. A little staining in the chrome, but from the top side you really can't see that. And as you can see with the 2-stroke, they're nice and oily back here in the back, and a couple drips. I should have wiped that up for the video too. The oiling system is definitely working on this bike. We put a new set of shocks on it from Paul Miller. He's got the correct shrouded shocks. You know, the old ones, the springs and stuff just get a little bit of rust in them, so new set of shocks goes a long way cosmetically. So we did install those. The rear tire we did not replace. It's a Yokohama. It has that nice period correct look to it. It had plenty of tread and the sidewalls looked great. I didn't see any cracking on that, so we did not replace the rear tire. Chain was in pretty good shape. We just gave it a little lube. Let's see. Around this side. So all the baffles are all there on the exhaust. Now some of these, we've seen some of these GT550s. I don't know what you'd call them, but I call them the little bulkheads inside there that the baffles kind of sit in and rest in, that they're supported by. They'll crack and they'll start, those bulkheads will, some more supports will fall apart, and then you really can't hold the baffle in place anymore. So, but these seem to be in good condition. Probably with that 5,800 miles has a lot to do with it. It's not a real high mileage motorcycle. So. Got the correct little triangle brackets to hold the turn signals on. A lot of times you'll see, you know, if a bike has had one of those goofy sissy bars or something on it from back in the 70s, they've lost these correct triangle brackets here, and then they'll just have the turn signals just bolted, you know, right into this hole or something. So one more little piece. Something on this side, you got your correct little metal flake on the GT550 badge. Foot pegs all look good. See, little stuff like that. If you wanted to really get in there and restore that, you could probably touch that bracket up or have it replated or something. It'd look really nice. Front foot pegs look good. As far as mechanical items on this bike, I told you about that we did replace the front tire and of course the paint job in the seat. We did take the carbs all the way down, and we've got a real expensive ultrasonic cleaner that we use. So we take those all the way down, pull the jets out of them, ultrasonic clean them. put it back together. We make sure the floats don't have any pinholes in them. Then we set the float levels, make sure the needles and seats are sealing properly. And then once they're all back together, then we'll go through and adjust them. You know, adjust all your cables, adjust your idle speeds, your idle air screw mixtures there, and then same thing on the ignition points. This one is still running a points ignition. It's kind of interesting when that covers off there because there's 3 sets of points and it looks like there's all kinds of stuff going on. So ignition was gone through. Spark plugs, I don't remember if we replaced the plugs. I'm sure we at least cleaned and gapped them if we didn't replace them. And the same thing with the points. We most likely cleaned them, gapped them. I doubt we replaced them. I'm sure we checked them and checked the condensers. Gapped them, then adjust your timing. We do the where you put the dial indicator in the cylinder, and then whatever the book says, how far before top dead center you set that, and then adjust your points. So all that has been done. Like I said, the carbs were done, oil cable adjusted, oil pump is all there, working great. Oil tank right now is full of I believe we used the Bel-Ray 2-stroke oil in this one. Let's see on this side. Let's look at the chrome on the pipes. Chrome looks pretty good over here. I think that other side was the one that had the staining. Don't really see any staining on this side. Let's see, your airbox boot. These, just with time, they start to shrink up and don't fit as well, so this one has that same problem. So we've got it on, it is on all 3 carburetors, but as you can see, it's kind of shrunk a little over time, so it doesn't fit perfectly up on there. That's as good as we could get it up on there, and as far as I know, I don't believe anybody is reproducing those yet. Suzuki doesn't sell them anymore, so. Levers, there's the end of your levers. Still got all the little black intact, so it hasn't been down. And if it goes down, of course, that'll all be scratched up there on the end. The correct original Nippon Denso horn. Of course, the chrome is not in the best condition on the horn, but looks okay from a few feet away. And they used a disc brake on the front of these. In 72, on the GT550, they actually used a 4-shoe 2-sided drum brake. It was the only year they did it. They used it on the GT550 and the GT750. Then in 73, they swapped over to this single disc front brake. So you'll see a lot of the 72s that people have converted over, so some of those 4-shoe 72 front ends are getting hard to locate. I'll show you under the seat here. 73, just use the little latch, you just pull up on it and then the seat pops up. So there's under the seat. Nice and tidy, no big rat's nests of wiring like you'll see on some bikes. So these oil tank caps were known for cracking around here where people over tighten them, so that one's in good shape. It's an oil tank. Battery still has a little rubber strap holding the tank down. We did respray the bottom of the seat pan while we did the seat cover. Some of that. All right, what's left? This thing I didn't get close up just yet. Got the Suzuki boots on the front forks. These are the original boots, so over time, you know, these are starting to, on the insides here, they've gotten just a little bit hard as the old rubber does, but up here they're still nice and pliable here. So, but I don't see any cracks or anything in them. All right, I think we're ready to start it up. These were kickstart and electric start on the GT. The GT380s were a kickstart only, no electric. The GT550 and 750s were electric start and kickstart. The only problem is, on these early GT550s, the starter clutch was not as robust as it needed to be. So they would wear out really quickly, and this bike has the typical starter clutch problems, even at only 5,800 miles. So Suzuki came out, I believe, in about 75 or so. In 76, they redesigned the starter clutch, and they started putting on all the 76 and 77 GT550s. But probably in 75 or so, they came out with the service bulletin to put the new style starter clutch on the earlier bikes to get rid of the problem. And if you can find one of those newer style starter clutches off of a 76 or 77 and retrofit it to these, it fixes all the starter clutch problems, and they start great with the electric start. But they're hard to find because everybody wants one. Everybody with a GT550 on the older one needs that style, newer style starter clutch. So they sell the little kit. This style has the little three little rollers with the three little plungers and springs, and they sell the little kits with to replace those rollers and springs. And we tried that, but it really didn't change anything. It still has the same problem, but it starts right up with the kickstart really easy, and it'll start most of the time with the electric start. But rather than keep wearing it out even more, I mostly just started with the kickstart, but I'll show you both of them. Alright, so like I said earlier this afternoon, I did take it down the road. It's been a couple hours, so it's cooled off now. It's not completely cold, but I can put my hand right here at the head pipe, so it is not hot by any means. But I think we can still get away without the choke. Let's try. I'll start it with the Kickstarter first, since that's easier on, and then once it warms up a bit, I'll show you the electric. So, key on, got your neutral light. I like to keep the headlight off for starting them, so just so you've got a little bit more juice in the battery. Alright, let's pull this. I'm trying to do this one-handed and hold the camera, so. There we go. Second kick. I did give it just a little bit of throttle. Choke's still off, so that's why it's idling a little low right now. She's cold, but probably still holding idle on its own here. I love that sound. Suzuki's were a little bit quieter, I think, than the Kawasaki two-strokes and probably the Yamahas. I think everybody has kind of said the Kawasaki's were the hot rods and the Suzuki was the gentleman's two-stroke. So maybe not quite as fast as the Kawasaki, but more of an everyday bike that you could ride, and it'll go through the turns just fine. I've heard the Kawasaki's are more of a straight line bike. So I've had a bunch of Suzuki two-strokes over the years, but I don't think I've had any Kawasaki two-strokes that I can recall, except for little dirt bikes. So you may not be able to see it in the camera, but there is just that correct amount, just a real faint wisp of smoke. You know that oil pump is working, but it's not that or not. Just a real faint wisp of smoke. Just about right. These things don't need much oil at idle. Just flip some lights on. So there's headlight, tail light on. And let's see, high beam is down, so there's low, high, low. Little indicator here for brights is right here. So there's that. Go ahead and turn the lights back on. Turn signals. There's your left signal. You got your indicator up here that flashes. And of course, both of your indicators will go right signal. Same thing. Flash up on the gauges. Front. Horn and brake lights. So brake light off, front brake, brake light on, and foot brake. So, as you can see, all your lights and gauges and signals and buttons all work properly, and the bike will just sit there and hold it real nice idle. I think that's a sweet exhaust note. If I had a helper, I'd take it on a ride for you, but just me today, so it's really tough to ride these and hold the camera at the same time, so I better not. Shut it off now, I guess. Okay. There it is. Again, this is a 1973 Suzuki GT550. And it's going to be for sale here real soon. So if you've been thinking about one of these, and if the title doesn't say sold, then it's still available. We're Williams Vintage Cycle. We're in Xenia, Ohio. Check out our website, williamsvintagecycle.com. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. We've got done a bunch of videos over the years on these old bikes. You'll probably see a bunch of other Suzuki two-strokes, along with a variety of other things. We like a little bit of everything, even an occasional old pickup truck like you can see over there. Alright, there you go. We'll talk to you later. Oops, I forgot to show you that electric start, so here's that. Key on. So you can hear it kind of kicks out, and sounds like my battery's a little on the weak side too. So, yeah. That's what it does. Sometimes it'll kick out on you, but again, Kickstarter works every time. So there you go. If you can find that 76, 77 starter clutch, that'll take care of that. We're always on the lookout for them, but they are tough to find. So, all right, thank you.